Hail, intrepid viewers, and welcome back to the Edgelands, the hill, subsection B, alpha. Right, we had it's a wood. I can't tell if it's a woodpecker facing left, picking on the lamppost, or if it's some sort of weird Scotty dog climbing up the mountain facing right, doing whatever Scotty dogs do. We'll follow the cat, as always. Its eyes are green. Cat's eyes are red. That thing's eyes are green. Don't know that color really has any strong relation to morality right now. Another fine soundtrack. Cat's tail is awfully strange. Oh, whoa. Good thing I didn't follow the cat too closely. Could have missed this cool camper. A faded caravan nestles here among gnarled, mossy roots, a dull light barely visible through lichen-coated windows. Open the door. Much to your surprise, the door is not locked and pulls open with squeaky enthusiasm. I was actually surprised. Look, the door looks quite stark and elegant from the inside, the handle ornate and gilded. The frame, a tangle of delicate curves. Ah, it's bigger on the inside, kind of thing. I've encountered some of these things before. Whoa! The wall is covered with many framed pictures of plants and animals vividly painted in a dark and textural ink. You see a veritable menagerie of wayward, inscrutable creatures, all fur and beak, tooth and talon. Some stand upon hind legs and seem to regard you with feral curiosity. There are stark and spindly trees, ragged thorny plants, and unfamiliar blooms with sallow, lambent petals. Are you a birdman? A large nest of entwined black branches and twigs sits upon a sturdy pale plinth, which bears a small white label printed with black ink. Found object. Mind-forged manacles. Ooh, that's a cool name, and that rings a bell. The nest achieves the feat of appearing both scruffy and intricately complex at the same time. A single delicate black feather bristles listlessly inside. I'll take it. The curator looks aghast and fussily waves a disapproving finger at you. Please do not touch the artwork! A stern and incredulous glare is deployed with great severity and purpose. I assume I did not successfully take the feather. An austere and velvetesque figure wafts opulently before you. Nose held aloft, eyebrows arched. It is beyond clear that this is the curator at the gallery. The curator looks at you with a cold, unfathomable expression and speaks in a voice like simmering treacle, carefully chewing every word before it is uttered. Ah. Welcome to the Gallery of Umbral Dissonance. Please be sure not to disturb the exhibition as you are enjoying its delights. There is some very slow, very deliberate thinking before the curator speaks. The Gallery of Umbral Dissonance is a venerable and highly esteemed institution. I refuse to believe you have never heard of us, and thus I refuse to answer your misguided inquiry. I see. He is done. Oh no, looks over there. I put it right in the lights. The curator is either so transfixed by the exhibition that you are no longer noticed, or is pretending that this is the case in order to avoid further conversation. Either way, you are completely ignored. I feel like I've seen this tree light, like in the real world before, or at least a picture of it existing in the real world. You see a sculpture of gnarled metal twisted into the shape of a tree. The rusted limbs are strewn with pallid bulbs which flicker intermittently with faint buzzings. Affixed to the wall is a small white label printed with black ink. May the darkness light your way. Can I unplug it with a distraction? Press switch. Boom. It's going down. Go for it, man. I'm taking that. Taking that feather. It's a race. A high-speed chase. Hoo ha. Hoo ha hoo. Take feather. Yes, quickly reach inside to touch the feather. It's very cold and much softer than it appears. Boom. What a fool. Yes. An old film projector rattles and shakes noisily on a pale plinth, which is adorned by a white label printed with black ink. Beauty in the mind's eye. And it's nothing. It's deep, man. Totally deep. Let's go outside. Boop. Well, that was a fun diversion. Let's see if this feather means anything, or if it's perhaps just a fun little souvenir. My face, my alternate going up. That's funny. Hey, the cat waited for me. How courteous. Anything over here? Another caravan? No, but an excellent view. Can't look at it. Specific. Oh, we can. Okay, we got The hillside here is all jutting stone and craggy outcroppings, the rocks and hollows so infused with the unmistakable aspect of the ursine face that you cannot tell if it is the result of intentional carving or natural coincidence. I can see ursine ears, but it doesn't have a snout. Let's examine the mouth. You feel yourself uncomfortably scrutinized by an uncertain gaze as you lean in for a closer look at the gaping maw, and you half expect it to snap shut or begin uttering feral growls. Within the toothsome recess, you see a sequence of glyphic symbols, faint carvings depicting a ritual of sorts, robed figures in procession, an offering of wheat stalks, or perhaps feathers laid before patient monoliths, bright stars, a large horned creature. Well... Cave paintings are crazy, man. I mean, look at that. It looks more like ears are short, snout's weird. It's not like completely un-Ursine-like, but it's not very Ursine-like either. You stand before the towering trunk of a great tree, an imposing arboreal remnant from some ancient woodland which has long ago faded from memory. It is old and formidable, a tree which has endured countless seasons and shifting landscapes. The bark is rough and conveys a vague inner warmth when touched. Well, there's no way to interact with that. Perhaps we just stick a feather in one of these things. A pair of stone obelisks conspire upon the flat crest of the hill. A ponderous atmosphere of expectation swirling around them, so tangible you can practically hear it thrumming in the air. Offer feather to stones. In recollection of the craggy ritual carvings, you solemnly place the feather on the ground between the two expectant stones. Poof! Anything else to do? No. Oh! Cave's lighting up. Let's check out that cave. Or why bother? Just go straight in the hole. Into the garbage chute, flyboy. There is a hollow opening in the trunk of the tree, beyond which you can see a musty tunnel leading downwards. I remember this stuff on Dark Souls. It's very hidden. Would not have found it without a guide. The Caves of Quod? Kitty cat waited for me again. Cat, you know, if you're gonna wait for me anyway, you could also help me get from A to B. Whoa, frame rate's chugging these bats. These bats are taking all the frames. Listen to that music stutter. Sounds like a friggin', what's that band? Sweet. Sounds like a Sweet song intro. The band's called Sweet. You seem to have stumbled upon the fossilized skeletal remains of a hapless spelunker slumped abjectly on the rocky ground. One bony hand still grips a dully glinting sword of great antiquity. The other clutches a very tarnished brass lantern. Oh, that was a beer bottle. I will take... Oh, man. I do like brass things. And a lantern seems practical. If I could get it lit. I'll take the sword though, because it was described as having great antiquity. The sword is essentially fused to the skeletal hand and is immovable. Okay, what's the lamp? The lantern shakes slightly as you try to rattle it free from the ossified grip of the previous owner, but it will not budge. As you try to force it loose, your fingers accidentally push in a rust-covered switch on the base of the lamp, and much to your surprise, it turns on, casting a dim but optimistic light. So that super strong lantern is basically just gonna light up the whole cave for me. Can't tell if this is the same guy or a different guy every time. A bucket hangs suspended, straining and swaying in a shaft of dappled light. The air is musty and damp, and you have the distinct feeling that you are standing at the bottom of a well. I did get that feeling. A scruffy figure sits awkwardly inside the bucket, watching you curiously with gimlet eyes. There's an air of despondency about the impish denizen as he speaks in a lilting and unplaceable accent. Not sure you're supposed to be down here, stranger, but here you are. He fidgets and sways hypnotically. I'd normally be out working on a night like this, but apparently there's not much call for my services these days, so here I am. His voice trails off with a sallow shrug. Sure, it's work. Oh, when times were good I was ever so busy, coins and trinkets would drop from above, and I'd happily do all manner of fettling chores while folks slept. Tending ailing livestock, bits of cobbling woodwork, even some midnight baking on occasion. There's a bittersweet sigh. Nowadays, there's hardly anything comes my way. Things are so bad I'm even thinking about packing it in and taking to lurking in wardrobes or under beds or some such. I'm gonna tell it not to give up. There is a glimmer of light in the furrowed eyes and a grateful smile. Suppose you're right. Things are bound to pick up one of these nights. Times will change and folks will look for help in old places again. As if on cue, a single shiny coin comes spiraling down from above, landing with a dull chime on the cavern floor. There's a flurry of excited muttering from inside the bucket, and the passage ahead seems somehow brighter and less fearful. Leave it alone! So objectifying. It. Its weird little stick arms. Its weird little stick legs. How's it even bending like that? Can I ever pass the cat, I wonder? Trying my hardest. Cat's just too dang fast. The way that cat walked with that tail reminds me of an old Christmas story. Oh, this isn't... Ugh. The air in this cavern feels thick and muddled, the dim light playing tricks in your eyes, uncertain shapes lurking in the shadows. In the middle of the room is a bed in which a restless-looking man glances about nervously, a small, indiscernible shape hunched purposely on his chest. There's a defensive hiss from the hunched thing, and the man looks up with hazy eyes, speaking in a parched and wary voice. "Oh, stranger, are you real? Is this real? I feel certain I must be dreaming, but I feel so awake. Am I dreaming?" I'm not sure. He seems oddly calmed by your reply, apparently taking it as a poignant allusion to the nature of reality. Ah, yes, consciousness is a slippery prospect. Perhaps I am merely a figment of your dream, or perhaps we are both a part of some other dreamer's wanderings. He shuts his eyes a moment, evidently lost in restless ponderings. Well then, perhaps I should try to wake up, or maybe even try to sleep. I suggest sleep. I regret that instantly. Your words are carefully heeded, the edge of the bedclothes absent-mindedly fidgeted with as he considers. Agreed, sleep is often the best solution, but in this case it is the only sensible action. Wish him well with sleeping. He nods in appreciation, the tassel on his nightcap bobbing along merrily. Thank you, stranger. The passage between the world of dreams and the more lucid lands of waking life is a brief and mysterious journey, but it is one I have taken many times before. He settles down in the bed and soon appears soundly asleep. Well, I'm sure everything will work out for him, as that weird hunched figure, I don't know, sucks his life force, whatever it is. Where'd the cat go? I lost track of the cat and all the horrors that were occurring in that room. I don't know if they were horrors per se, but I found them horrifying, so horrors they shall be named. Cool, mushrooms. I do like mushroom lights. Frequently they're poisonous, but in general they look cool. More bats. These are non-frame stealing bats. Good bats. Gonna hit my head on one of those stalactites. Oh. Ooh, root tentacles. Gross. Oh, you've no nose. What is with you? Like your tail, like your antlers. I just want to see your face's silhouette a little better. Maybe it's a giant beak. Okay, if I... you're cool. Feet are a little weird. A great beast looms before you, all bristling feathers and fur. It bears no resemblance to any creature you know of, yet there is something curiously familiar about it. Its beaked and antlered head turns in your direction, great piercing eyes looking into yours. I will look into its eyes. The eyes are mesmerizing, wild, but not unkind, a place you feel you have been before, but cannot quite recall. You hear rasps and growls, and a purring guttural caw. Your head swims with visions of root and soil, night foraging in dark meadows, grass undulating like waves. You have the sensation of a question being asked, the creature wanting to know if you understand. Sure, creature, I understand perfectly. There are feral rumblings of approval, and more images ebb and flow in your mind. A dense undergrowth of thorns lit up like LEDs, glowing neon sigils and computer screens engulfed by brambles. You are now unable to tell if your eyes are open or closed. Ooh, I'm gonna, I told that guy to go to sleep. I'm gonna do the opposite. Open my eyes. The images linger, eyes open or shut. A vast concrete plain, luminous blooms sprouting up through cracks. The glowing flowers surge and grow until all you see are two bright orbs, and with a start, you realize you are staring into the depths the depthless eyes of the beast. Whoa, it was my cat the whole time? Hashtag game changer. A passageway leads into the waning darkness. You feel a muffled breeze which carries the faint smell of damp earth and woodland flowers. Enter the tunnel. How are there leaves falling down here? Home! This may be the unexpected finale. But with a revelation about that cat, what else could it be? I don't remember what that hut said when I investigated in the first episode. Or second, or whatever episode it was that I investigated it on. Cute little cat hugs. And then we're going to go to sleep, right? Endings. Are there multiple endings? Is there one ending where I piss off the forces of nature and get slain? Were those stones there before? Those are the same ones I had on the barn. I fixed the barn. I'm not hitting any buttons, because it wants to go on. Okay, it ends on its own. Fade to black. And scene. The end. Cool. Well, that was quite a bit more linear than I anticipated this game being, but I didn't really have any strong expectations, and I think it worked out very, very well. I enjoyed it. I'm almost tempted to try it again and choose different options, but I suspect there are 0 branches. I could look at the Steam achievements and I guess that might give me a hint. Anyway, as always, curious to hear what your thoughts are on the game, and I'll see you in whatever game comes next. Thanks for watching, guys. Signature catchphrase.